and welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Iron Sky: The Coming Race is a sequel to a kind of cult classic movie called Iron Sky back in 2012. Now, this particular sequel was actually crowdfunded, which is a first for me to see a movie like this. And it is a sci-fi comedy, and it follows the events of the first movie. Now, I haven't seen the first movie myself, but the general story is there are these Nazi aliens who come back to reclaim Earth or take over Earth. And that's the story. And that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Well, that's because it is. It's supposed to be ridiculous because this movie is also ridiculous. And so the general story is the majority of people from Earth have left because it's not livable anymore. And so now they live on the dark side of the moon. And once we get here, it's a combination of a whole different types of movies. It's Star Wars, it's Jurassic Park, Lost in Space, Journey to the Center of the Earth, all types of different sci-fi movies. And I kind of would put this in a category of movies like Spaceballs, although it's definitely not at that level. And it also has Tom Green, that guy that you're seeing right there, and also has a lot to do with Apple products. Yeah, that's sounds really weird. And so basically the main character, or one of the main characters from the very first movie, they're back, and there is this really powerful thing that is in the center of the earth that they need to go back and get. And so that is the general story. If they don't go back and get this thing, then everybody on the dark side of the moon, they're pretty much going to die. And that is the main character we have there. And as you could probably see, that is the Jurassic Park part. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get to the things that I like about this movie. For me, there wasn't too many things that I did enjoy about this movie, to be honest with you, because I had so many different things and they didn't always work. But the thing that I did like, despite being crowdfunded and having a low budget, I actually did like the effects of this movie. And it's pretty amazing what they were able to do with the budget they had, because if I understand correctly, I think it's like less than 20 million or something, or maybe less than 12 million. It was crowdfunded, and so I don't usually expect a lot out of that. But here they combine a lot of different effects from many different types of movies, and so I think that worked, surprisingly well. Another thing that I did kind of enjoy was, some of the acting. It's not going to be like like top level acting, but the thing is, the movie knows what it is. It's ridiculous. It's just really campy. It's very self-aware. So I think the majority of actors and actresses, especially Tom Green in this movie, I think he did a really good job, in terms of playing that comedic, ridiculous side. And so those are, I'd say, the two main things that I like about the movie. For the best value in domain names, check out Namecheap, where you could get a domain for an entire year for less than $10, plus get WhoisGuard privacy protection for free. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. Everything else, I didn't really like much at all. I mean, the story was nonsensical, didn't really make sense, and even if it did, it just wasn't that enjoyable. And speaking of the characters, even though the people who played these characters, I think they did well in terms of what they were provided, in terms of having this campy B-movie type atmosphere, none of the characters were really interesting at all. Whether it's the main heroes or the villains, it's just, wasn't something that's memorable. And then by the end, I was just like, well, I'm probably not going to remember this movie, And so, yeah, so those are my overall thoughts on Iron Sky: The Coming Race. If you did like the first movie, I think you will enjoy this movie. But for me, at least, there's really not much here that I would actually come back and revisit. Despite it being a campy B-style movie, I get that. It just wasn't as much fun. And especially when you compare it to one of the best comedic movies of all time, a parody, and that is Spaceballs. That movie was so awesome. And there's many other movies like that, like Hot Shots Part 1 and Part 2. And Airplane, yeah. So anyway, this is a movie I think for people who really do like the first movie and they're like that type of style of movies. They might enjoy this. But at least for me, yeah, not so much. And so if you actually had any thoughts on Iron Sky, The Coming Race, or maybe the very first movie, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you wanted to see more of my sci-fi movie reviews, I do have a playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Gold Content Creators group, where you'll get access to 30 videos plus additional content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.